Out to Joel Eisenbaum. He has been live for us in Crosby this afternoon, where an ammonia plant has been evacuated. Joel, we understand there's some concern of an explosion.
That'll put us right 200 yards from the intersection.
You've heard of an explosion? I have not heard of an explosion. This is Sean, works with the Crosby Fire.
For an explosion. We have not heard of an explosion.
Yeah, potential.
There is a potential, yes. As I understand it. Yeah, that's right. Potential. That's correct. That's why they're clearing everyone out of here. I want to check in with Sean, works for the Crosby Volunteer Fire Department, has been doing great work for several days now. Sean, can you give us an update of what you guys are doing right now?
Right now we're evacuating mostly about a half-mile area around the plant, just as a precautionary. We have 9 assets from National Guard. Actually, we're going to have the convoy coming in. We've already brought out approximately 70 people from this location alone. We have another one across the highway. I think they're probably working on 80 people as well, and personal vehicles.
Okay, so do you know the situation? I don't want to get you in a spot. I know you're a firefighter. You're not with Homeland Security or anything, but I mean, is this a serious enough situation where you really do have to get everybody that's in and around this plant out of there?
It's serious enough that we are evacuating people at this time, and that's what our EOC is advising us, and with the information from Harris County Fire Marshal Office, Hazmat, etc.
How many have you pulled out at this point, do you think? Just from this single location, there are a lot of different spots you guys are utilizing to get it back in there, right?
Approximately 80.
About 80 from right here?
About 3 buses. This will be, I think, 4.
And we have taken so many twists and turns at this point. They're using school buses to take people to points like, I know one of them is it Crosby Middle School?
That is one, Crosby Middle School, American Legion Hall. There's a lot of others around. Right now, what we're actually doing is staging all these people at Crosby Fire Station 1. If you can come get them, great with your family, but other than that, we're going to spread them out from there. That's a gathering point, a rally point, and we're going to go from there.
Crosby Fire Station 1, give us a reminder what that address is.
That's going to be 2502 Kennings. It's basically right across the highway from Kroger's on Highway 90, right by the intersection of 2100 and Highway 90.
So all the folks you're pulling out as a precautionary measure in this evacuation that's near this plant are going to be in that spot.
Only those people right now we need at that plant as a rally point to try to get to where they're going. That's correct.
Okay, I think I'm clear on that. And you're telling us that there's about to be a boatload of people coming this way?
There's about to be a military convoy. That's correct. I believe about 9.
9 people?
No, 9 vehicles.
Oh, 9 vehicles filled with people?
Maybe 50 people, I'm guessing, probably coming this way. I haven't got an accurate head count, but it's going to be a lot.
Well, I don't want to stress you too much on giving us information. You've been very helpful. I appreciate it. As we go, one more question is, I mean, how deep are we talking? I mean, this is not something you can obviously drive.
You can, but it's probably about 2.5, 3 foot at its deepest location.
And from where we are, right at this spot, where's the plant?
About a mile the way the crow flies that way.
A mile away this way?
Yes.
Okay.
That'd be our southwest.
Best of your knowledge, what is going on at the plant right now? They've cleared everyone out of there. There's an issue, some sort of issue going on with refrigeration of certain chemicals where the refrigeration isn't working because there are power problems, right?
Yes, that's correct. And that's about as much as I know in this location. Like I said, EOC could answer all those questions, just the specifics.
Yeah, that's good. Hey, let's let him be, let him do his job. So apparently at some point in the very near future, they're going to start bringing people out who live, originally I had heard about a 1.5 mile radius, because we checked in with you about a half hour ago. We were on 90 coming out of Crosby. We've taken several twists and turns to get to back roads to see one of these put-in points for boats, and they're going to be coming down this street/river here within the next little bit. We'll check in with you then, but we can tell you now that where these people are being taken at this point is Crosby Volunteer Fire Station number 1, correct? Number 1. So if you're looking for loved ones that are in the Crosby area who are within a mile of this plant or so, and this is the Arkema plant. It's a chemical plant that's been here in Crosby for a few years. That's where they're going to be. I want to read real quickly. I read this statement, but Arkema has actually chimed in on this issue, and the statement that they've forwarded to us, to KPRC, is this, quote, "The situation at the Crosby site has become serious. In order to ensure the safety of our ride-out team," and those are the folks that basically stayed there. I understand there were a dozen plant workers who stayed inside the facility during the storm. it's become serious enough, back to the quote, all personnel have been evacuated from the site at this time. In fact, as we're hearing, it's become serious enough that they're evacuating people. At first I heard within a mile and a half. Would that be a radius? Yeah, that would be a radius of the plant. And this gentleman with the fire department, Sean, is telling us that they're picking up people within a half mile to a mile. As soon as, if you're available, as soon as these folks start trickling in, we'll show you that procedure. For now, let's send it back to you.
Joel, before we let you go, can you ask the gentleman there, is there a hazmat team on site prepared to go in, or are they already doing any kind of work right now?
Well, I can tell you this, I will ask them, but there are a lot of resources, both federal, state, and local, I understand, that are going in that direction. Our anchor, Keith, is asking, is there a hazmat team that's been sent in that area to sort of deal with this issue?
At this time, I don't know. That'd be a resource the EOC has control under. I'm not sure that's
good enough. You don't know an answer to a question, that's what I always do. Hey, man, I don't know. But I can tell you this. If you even look deeper into that statement that the plant sent us, Arkema, they say that they're working in conjunction with the Department of Homeland Security. So there are some serious governmental folks who know about this situation. There's no doubt about that. And when we were on 90, we saw a sort of a trickle, I wouldn't say a stream, of emergency vehicles that were headed that way. This is a situation, keep in mind, that has sort of been deteriorating over the weekend even. Come Friday, these folks had started to have refrigeration problems. They had alerted, I understand, the necessary authorities, and then it has sort of gone downhill from there in terms of keeping these chemicals in the state they need to be kept in to be stable. So that's a long answer to your question, but the short answer from a reporter standpoint is we don't know the answer to that question. I do believe that a whole lot of folks know about this issue, and they're certainly marshaling forces in that direction.
And we have a lot of hazmat resources in our area. A lot of them obviously are tapped out right now. Joel, do you have any idea, right from where you're standing, who would be downwind if there was some sort of an emergency at this plant?
Boy, you're asking me to make calls on where the wind is blowing. I can tell you what we're near. So Crosby, if you know where Crosby is, it's sort of the eastern end of Harris County. If you were to travel westbound, we would get to the belt. What is the belt? Maybe 10 miles, 5 miles?
10 miles is a good number. Yeah,
10 miles from Beltway 8 and Highway 90, somewhere in that, maybe not even quite 10 miles. So you've got, you know, the eastern end of Houston, there's no doubt about, is within spitting distance. If you go down south, you're talking about getting into Baytown if you cross I-10. Nobody's going along I-10, that's for sure, because it's flooded right there. And then you've got all the little towns in between each of those spots. But we're on the eastern end of Harris County. If you were to keep going, I think, would you hit Chambers? Is it Chambers? If you keep going down 90, you'd hit Chambers County. I honestly don't know which way the wind is blowing, but they have taken the move of moving everybody out, as I understand it, initially in a 1.5 mile radius. They think that more than covers any potential catastrophe, and I haven't heard anything about widening that radius at this point. With that being said, I'm telling you what I know.
Okay. All right, Joel, we're going to let you go, and please be safe yourself, and we'll ask any other question you need to ask, and we'll get back to you when needed. But thanks so much for that report.